You just drove off the lot in a brand new truck, financed for 72 months, and within weeks, it's back at the dealership with problems nobody can seem to fix. This nightmare is happening to thousands of truck buyers right now. GM recently pulled back nearly 900,000 trucks because of engines that basically tear themselves apart. Toyota, the company everyone trusted for reliability, now owns the worst dependability score in the full-size truck category. Ram ditched their legendary Hemi engine for something that's already causing headaches before owners even hit their first service interval. We're breaking down 12 trucks that'll drain your bank account and test your patience throughout 2026. Some of these revelations might catch you off guard. Every single one could save you from throwing away tens of thousands of dollars on a vehicle that spends more time getting fixed than actually working. Here's what you need to know. Number 12. Nissan Titan, 2025 to 2026. Starting with a truck that's essentially a ghost-haunting dealer lots across the country. Nissan pulled the plug on the Titan after 2024, turning any leftover 2025 models into automotive relics, with absolutely no long-term support coming down the pipeline. The 5.6-liter Endurance V8 delivers 400 horses, but fuel economy sits at a painful 15 miles per gallon around town and 21 miles per gallon on open roads. Dealerships are panicking, dropping prices over $10,000 just to clear space, bringing stickers down to roughly $42,000. Seems like a steal at first glance. Fast forward 5 years, when you desperately need a replacement part and your local shop has zero experience with Titans. The closest Nissan dealership quit ordering parts because these trucks never sold well to begin with. Now, you're making 60-mile trips for routine maintenance. Resale value becomes a cruel joke. Dealerships won't even bother making offers since Titans collect dust on their lots indefinitely. Private buyers bail the second they spot that Nissan badge on the tailgate. Your $42,000 purchase plummets to maybe $18,000 after 5 years of ownership. That's a brutal 58% value loss. Literally, the worst performance in the full-size segment. The 5.6-liter V8 actually runs pretty solid, but earlier versions had nasty rear axle seal problems that wiped out entire differentials. When the company building these trucks gives up completely, taking a chance with your money seems pretty foolish. Discontinued vehicles aren't your only concern though. Number 11. Toyota Tundra Non-Hybrid 2022 to 2026. Remember when slapping a Toyota badge on a truck meant it'd run forever without complaining? Those golden days are gone. The redesigned 2022 Onward Tundra completely demolished Toyota's rock-solid reputation with multiple recalls targeting the exact same engine problem. The 3.4-liter twin-turbo V6 cranks out 389 horsepower. Toyota advertises 17 miles per gallon city and 22 miles per gallon highway, but actual owners are struggling to see 15 miles per gallon. With all the throttle response disasters happening, Toyota has recalled more than 127,000 Tundras because assembly line workers left machining debris inside engines during production. Metal fragments circulate through your motor, gradually destroying main bearings until everything locks up solid. One driver shared his terrifying experience cruising down the highway at 55 miles per hour with his daughter in the back seat when the engine just died in moving traffic. The most dangerous situation happens constantly. You're stopped at an intersection, waiting to merge into traffic. You press the accelerator, and absolutely nothing happens for 3 full seconds. Then suddenly, the truck launches forward with way too much power. Drivers report nearly getting slammed broadside multiple times because of this ridiculous delay. These trucks run anywhere from $52,000 up to $76,000 for the TRD Pro package. Consumer Reports actually ranked the Tundra as the least dependable full-size truck available, which represents a shocking collapse for Toyota. Wastegate failures require mechanics to literally remove the entire cab for repairs, meaning over 10 hours of intensive labor. The hybrid versions dodge these problems completely, but if you grabbed a non-hybrid Tundra, you're basically testing Toyota's biggest engineering disaster in recent memory. Number 10. Ram 1500, limited 2025 to 2026. Imagine dropping $85,000 on a luxury pickup loaded with heated leather seats, premium sound systems, and cutting-edge technology, then watching it surge randomly at idle, stall out at traffic lights, and flash check engine warnings before your first oil change even comes due. The 3.0-liter Hurricane inline-six twin-turbo pushes 420 horsepower, and Ram advertises 18 miles per gallon city and 24 miles per gallon highway, but owners report closer to 16 miles per gallon in actual daily driving. Ram killed off the bulletproof Hemi V8 and shoved everyone into this completely new Hurricane motor. Owners are reporting check engine lights under 1,000 miles, electrical systems randomly shutting down, and weird surging between 1,500 and 1,800 RPM. One limited owner described the truck acting like it had split personalities. Some mornings it runs smooth as butter. Other days it surges violently while slowing down, occasionally stalling dead. You spent $80,000 expecting reliability, but your massaging seats mean nothing when the truck won't properly accelerate, merging onto highways. Your massive panoramic sunroof becomes useless when Apple CarPlay disconnects randomly during every single commute. Here's the brutal truth. A used 2020 Ram Limited with the proven 5.7-liter Hemi costs around $45,000 and delivers better reliability than your brand new $85,000 Hurricane-powered headache. You're paying twice as much for worse dependability. Ram is actually bringing back the Hemi for 2026 because Hurricane sales are absolutely tanking. That fact alone tells you everything about this engine's real-world performance. Number 9. Jeep Gladiator, 2025 to 2026. The Jeep Gladiator should represent the perfect lifestyle pickup. Wrangler off-road abilities combined with truck bed versatility. Instead, it's become a sales catastrophe, dropping from 90,000 annual units down to just 42,123 in 2024. The 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 delivers 285 horsepower and gets a pathetic 16 miles per gallon city and 23 miles per gallon highway. But fuel economy isn't even the real nightmare here. The death wobble takes that crown. This violent, completely uncontrollable shaking of the front wheels happens when you hit bumps at highway speeds. Your steering wheel oscillates wildly, and you completely lose directional control. This represents a known defect in Wrangler-based suspension that Jeep absolutely refuses to properly address. Fixing death wobble costs anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 in aftermarket stabilizers and suspension upgrades just to make highway driving reasonably safe. Transmission problems are equally catastrophic. Owners report rough shifting, slipping, complete failure to engage gears, and the truck bucking in traffic because the transmission can't decide which gear it wants. One owner described shifting from park to reverse, and absolutely nothing happens. The truck just sits there with the engine running, but refuses to move. Turn everything off, restart it, and suddenly it works fine. This happens completely randomly, with no warning. Prices span from $44,000 to $73,000, and you'll lose 35% in depreciation, plus another $3,000 minimum in required fixes. The upcoming 2026 Gladiator 4xe uses a 2.0-liter turbo four-cylinder for off-road abuse and towing. Being a test dummy for Stellantis hybrid technology doesn't sound particularly appealing. Number 8. Ford F250 and F350 Super Duty 2020 to 2021. shopping for a used Super Duty from 2020 or 2021. You're potentially buying a vehicle with a fatal safety defect that could seriously harm you and your passengers. These trucks come with either the 6.2-liter V8, 7.3-liter V8, or 6.7-liter power-stroke diesel, producing anywhere from 385 to 475 horsepower and getting 12 to 17 miles per gallon, depending on which engine. None of those specs matter when Ford issued Recall 25S94, because the upper steering shaft can separate from the steering system without any warning whatsoever. 1 second you're driving normally, the next your steering wheel is spinning freely with zero connection to the actual wheels. Picture this scenario. You're towing a 12,000-pound trailer on the interstate at 70 miles per hour. The steering suddenly disconnects completely. You cannot steer. You cannot avoid anything in your path. You're basically a runaway missile until physics decides what happens next. Parts weren't available until first quarter 2026, meaning thousands of these trucks have been driven for years with this known fatal defect. If you're buying used, the previous owner might never have completed the recall work. The F-250 retains only 55% of its value after 5 years. With an initial price over $72,000, you're losing more than $32,000 in equity, even if the recall gets completed. These model years carry permanent stigma. When buying a work truck meant for 200,000 plus miles, choosing years known for catastrophic safety defects seems pretty unwise. Number 7. GMC Denali Ultimate 2024 to 2026. GMC's flagship, Denali Ultimate, starts at $95,000, positioning itself as the absolute peak of luxury trucks. You get supple leather, advanced tech, premium materials throughout the cabin, and distinctive styling that announces you've arrived. But that prestige comes with a $95,000 price tag that plummets faster than any other truck on the market. After just 3 years, the Denali Ultimate loses approximately 45% of its value. Your $95,000 investment becomes worth roughly $52,000. That's $43,000 evaporated into thin air. Compare that to a regular Sierra AT4 that starts at $65,000 and loses about 38% over the same period. The extra $30,000 you spent on the Denali Ultimate buys you exactly nothing in retained value. Here's the crushing reality. Most luxury features that justify the premium price mean absolutely nothing to used buyers. That 16-speaker audio system, the power-adjustable pedals, the heads-up display, none of these command premium dollars on the used market. Buyers shopping for 3-year-old trucks care about condition, mileage, and mechanical reliability, not whether the original owner had cooled seats. The Denali Ultimate also shares the same 6.2-liter V8 that's part of the massive GM recall, affecting nearly 887,000 vehicles for catastrophic engine failures. You're paying luxury car prices for an engine that could destroy itself without warning. The depreciation alone means you're hemorrhaging money from day one, making this arguably the worst financial decision in the full-size truck segment. Number 6. Any full-size truck with adaptive air suspension. Air suspension sounds incredible on paper. Adjustable ride height for easier loading, improved highway comfort, better towing stability, and the ability to raise clearance for off-roading. Truck manufacturers charge anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000 for this option. Here's what they don't advertise. Air suspension systems are catastrophically expensive to maintain and fail with alarming frequency. The typical air suspension setup includes air springs at each corner, a compressor, height sensors, electronic control modules, and miles of air lines. These components all work together in perfect harmony, until they don't. Dealership repairs easily run $4,000 to $8,000 per failure event. These aren't one-time fixes either. The system fails repeatedly in cascading fashion. You fix the compressor, then springs fail 6 months later. You replace springs, then the control module dies. Many frustrated owners eventually convert to conventional coil springs and shocks, requiring aftermarket conversion kits costing $2,500 to $3,500 installed. Here's the total financial damage breakdown. Initial air suspension option adds $3,000. First major repair costs $6,500. Conversion to conventional suspension runs another $3,200. You've literally paid twice, once to add the feature, then again to remove it completely. Spending $12,000 to eliminate a factory feature seems absolutely insane, but that's the reality thousands of air suspension owners face. Number 5. Ford F-150 with 3.5-liter EcoBoost, 2026. America's best-selling truck just got significantly weakened. For 2026, Ford is reducing the legendary 3.5-liter EcoBoost by 18 horsepower and adding emissions complexity that will absolutely haunt owners for years to come. The 3.5-liter EcoBoost twin-turbo V6 now makes 382 horsepower, down from 400, and gets 19 miles per gallon city and 24 miles per gallon highway. Ford is adding a gasoline particulate filter to meet California emission standards. This works exactly like a diesel particulate filter, trapping soot and burning it off during regeneration cycles. Here's why this spells disaster. The GPF requires specific driving conditions to regenerate properly. If you do mostly short trips without sustained highway driving, your filter won't regenerate correctly. Clogged filter means reduced performance, check engine lights, and expensive repairs once warranty coverage expires. Ask any diesel owner about DPF problems and watch them cringe. Now Ford is bringing that exact nightmare to gasoline trucks. If you do mostly short trips under 20 minutes, the GPF never reaches sufficient temperature to burn off accumulated soot. Eventually, it clogs completely, triggering limp mode and costly forced regeneration at dealerships. Prices range from $52,000 to $78,000, and GPF replacement outside of warranty runs $2,500 to $4,000. The 3.5-liter EcoBoost itself is generally reliable, but first-generation engines had carbon buildup and timing chain issues. Now Ford is adding emissions complexity to an already complicated twin-turbo setup. More parts always equal more problems, especially after warranty protection expires. Number 4. Ram 1500 RHO 2025 to 2026. Ram's answer to the Ford Raptor packs 540 horsepower from the Hurricane high-output engine. Sounds absolutely incredible, until you hear about blown engines at 3,000 miles, overheating catastrophes, and melted catalytic converters. The 3.0-liter Hurricane inline-6 twin-turbo high-output makes 540 horsepower and 521 pound-feet of torque, but only manages 14 miles per gallon city and 19 miles per gallon highway. One RHO owner reported complete engine failure after the thermostat stuck closed, causing the engine to overheat and crack the engine block at just 3,000 miles. Stellantis ordered a replacement engine, but this isn't an isolated incident. Multiple Grand Wagoneer owners with the identical Hurricane engine report thermostat failures, causing dangerous overheating. There's a technical service bulletin about defective thermostats from suppliers with sediment-contaminating production runs and preventing proper operation. When engines can't cool properly, they destroy themselves within minutes. One owner watched their Grand Wagoneer hit 230 degrees Fahrenheit just sitting in line at a car wash. Additional RHO problems include melted catalytic converters, and the engine sounds like a diesel tractor instead of a premium performance truck. Despite packing 540 horsepower, it tows less than old 5.7-liter Hemi trucks. Prices range from $72,000 to $82,000, and max towing capacity sits at just 8,380 pounds. The brutal irony here: Ram is bringing back the Hemi for 2026 because Hurricane sales are absolutely tanking. When the manufacturer revives the old engine they specifically replaced, that's a massive red flag waving right in front of your face. Number 3. GMC Sierra 1500 and Chevrolet Silverado 1520-21 to 2024. General Motors just issued one of the largest truck recalls in automotive history. Nearly 887,000 vehicles equipped with the 6.2-liter V8 have a catastrophic manufacturing defect that causes complete engine failure without any warning. The 6.2-liter Ecotec 3 V8 produces 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque and gets 15 miles per gallon city and 20 miles per gallon highway. NHTSA Recall 2 5V274 covers 2021 through 2024. Silverado and Sierra, plus Tahoe, Suburban, Yukon, and Escalade equipped with this engine. The issue stems from manufacturing debris in critical rotating components, causing bearing failures and thrown connecting rods. Here's exactly what happens. You're cruising down the highway when suddenly you hear terrible knocking sounds. Oil pressure drops to zero. The engine seizes completely. You've thrown a rod bearing, and your engine is now a 420 horsepower paperweight. Under warranty, you're looking at weeks of downtime while waiting for replacement parts. Outside of warranty, you're staring at $15,000 to $20,000 for complete engine replacement. GM's fix shows absolutely zero confidence. For trucks passing inspection, the fix involves switching to higher viscosity oil, expensive 0W40 Mobile 1 supercar, installing a new oil fill cap, and updating the owner's manual. That's literally it. GM expects you to trust that an oil change somehow solves a structural defect in the rotating assembly. Prices range from $58,000 to $95,000 for a Sierra Denali Ultimate, and 887,000 plus vehicles are affected worldwide. You're paying premium money but getting an engine that could grenade itself the moment warranty coverage expires. Number 1. Ford F-150 Power Boost Hybrid 2021 to 2024. The ultimate truck you'll regret buying is the Ford F-150 Power Boost Hybrid. This configuration has earned the worst predicted reliability rating in its entire segment for 3 consecutive years. Not just below average, the absolute bottom of the barrel. The 3.5-liter EcoBoost plus electric motor hybrid makes 430 horsepower and 570 pound-feet of torque and claims 24 miles per gallon combined when it's actually running properly. One real owner's 2021 Power Boost spent 10% of its entire life at the dealership over 30 months. That's more than 3 full months being repaired. During that time, it needed a completely new transmission and extensive EGR system repairs, all supposedly covered under warranty. The core problem is Ford took an already problematic platform and added massive amounts of unproven complexity on top. The 10-speed automatic already had durability concerns from day one. In the Power Boost, those problems get amplified exponentially because now you're adding an electric motor, high-voltage battery pack, complex power management software, and integrated hybrid components that must work perfectly together. Owners report severe electrical gremlins that mechanics cannot diagnose, random error codes technicians can't track down, batteries dying overnight, leaving you stranded in your own driveway, and hybrid components like EGR valves failing repeatedly, requiring expensive replacements. The electric motor causes bizarre transmission behavior, making the truck lurch, and hesitate unpredictably in traffic. For every 100 days you own this truck, 10 of those days it's sitting at the dealer getting repaired instead of serving as your daily driver. Prices range from $65,000 to $85,000, and you're paying for rental vehicles, missing work, and constantly rearranging your life around a truck that cannot stay functional. There you have it, 12 trucks that could transform your dream purchase into a complete financial nightmare. From Ram's problematic Hurricane engine to GM's catastrophic 6.2-liter recall to Toyota's shocking quality control failures, 2026 represents a minefield for truck buyers. The common thread running through all of these is manufacturers rushing new technology without proper testing, cutting corners on quality control, and leaving customers to deal with the expensive consequences. Do your homework before buying. Check recall databases. Read owner forums extensively. Don't trust manufacturer claims until independent data backs them up completely. The truck market in 2026 demands more research and caution than ever before.